wildest bands to come around in a long time called Sleep Token. We do a metal show on Saturdays here on The Buzzard. It is called 2 Hours to Midnight. It's me, it's Corey Roddick, it's Pat Butler, and it's 120 minutes and nothing but metal. So I hope you can join us if that's your vibe. There's going to be local music this week from Assault and Vadiat. I'm going to be playing Sleep Token, play some Black Label Society, play some Classic Slayer. Anything you want to hear, 2htm at WMMS.com will be the way to submit something. Guardians are off tonight. They are licking their wounds from that Detroit series here at home. They stay in Cleveland. They're going to start up against the LA Angels tomorrow night at 7:10 here on WMMS. So right after we roll at 6:30, get your pregame going, and then first pitch shortly after 7 o'clock. If you listen to us, this program on iHeartRadio from outside Ohio, tell me where you do that. You can see all of the, we had, there was a tour being given here a couple of days ago. Some students, some prospective clients, advertisers, things like that, and they like to show off this studio. And since I'm always in here, they go, oh, this is Alan Cox and blah, blah, blah. And people always ask what the map is. And I say, well, each one of those push pins denotes a person or a cluster of people who listen to us on the app. And because not everybody knows about the app. And so they look at the map and they see it rendered in stark relief like that. And they go, oh, that's pretty impressive. And because I'm classy, I look at the students and I go, you're goddamn right it is. And then I kick them out. Actually, I don't. I'm unfailingly polite. Not only that, I have to be polite because these students, I guarantee you, have no idea who I am. And that's okay. Because
all those people on the map know who you are.
Well, but that's not the important part, you know? Anybody who's younger and even remotely is still turned on by the idea of getting into radio. I'm all in favor of that. Anyway, wherever you listen to us, let me know. Trent is a bureau chief in Kearney, Nebraska. Jonah listens in Austin. Ryan's in Seattle. Zach is in New Orleans. And I heard from Nick, who is one of our bureau chiefs in Boulder, Colorado. There's a local magazine out there called Rooster. Kind of if you've ever been to Denver or Boulder, you've probably seen copies of it. It's a very bright magazine, a local publication, and it's kind of like an alternative, what they used to call like alt-weekly magazines, right? And he sent me the Hookup Horoscope for the month of May. We're not even halfway through the month of May. Now, I think Poundcake, actually, none of us are hooking up. I mean, Poundcake has McBoyfriend now. Mm-hmm. So I guess it wouldn't really apply to anybody here on the program. But I mean, maybe some useful information for people who are listening to the show.
I can always ask, though.
What's that?
I said I can always ask, though.
You can always ask?
I was like, some people have different rules in a relationship. No, that's not our
That is true.
But I'm being funny.
What's your sign? Your sign is, you're a Libra?
I'm a Virgo.
Virgo. When's your birthday?
September 8th.
Oh, right. Why do I always think your birthday's in October?
That's Erica's birthday. Yeah.
Because
you're saying I'm confusing you and Erica.
Well,
we were attached at the hip.
Didn't you guys celebrate a birthday together one time, I thought?
Yeah, bestie. Well, that was besties night, but I mean, no.
Well, here, just for shrimps and giggles, I'll read you your Hookup Horoscope for Virgo. And this applies to you, too. Maybe you don't even know your astrological sign because, let me check my notes, it's all made up. But, listen, for entertainment purposes only, here's Virgo. You're out to improve your sex life as spring moves towards summer, and what better way to do it than outdoors? Play hooky from work. Hey, you don't want to be too reliable. Mm-hmm. Play hooky from work. Have a picnic. That's more Bill's vibe, but you can, go skinny dipping.
Old picnic Bill.
I'll pick a Nick.
You'll pick Nick. Yeah.
Go skinny dipping, it says. Right? You are skinnier.
Mm-hmm.
F like bunnies in a meadow. All right, see, now we're getting into it. Unleash your inner freak. It's always you quiet, reserved types that have the dirtiest minds. So you see what they're doing here? They're putting their own little, gooey twist on
I love that they say I'm quiet and reserved.
Huh?
I love that they say I'm quiet and reserved.
Well, this isn't tailored exactly to you. This is tailored to people who recognize the Virgo sign.
I'm a lot more reserved than I used to be. Like, after I'm off the show, I'm like, I'm not talking about that. Save it for the show.
Well, listen, people who have a birthday, let's say today, you would be a Taurus if you follow this. The bull. And this says that you're a highly sensual being who can come across as overly judgmental and aloof. Quit being so effing moody is what it says. Concentrate on building strong relationships instead of scaring the hell out of everyone. So anyway, I don't know if anybody locally does something like this, but Nick out in Boulder sent me a couple articles from Rooster Magazine out there and their Hookup Horoscope. So listen, maybe there's something there that you can use. You know, people who do, there's nobody you'll find that is a passive fan of horoscopes and astrology. They either use it as their North Star or they discard it as so much hokum and flim-flam. There's never anybody in the middle. Because if you're reading them, you're reading it out of more than probably random curiosity. You know why today is also a great day if it's your birthday? Because it's COVID's over, everybody. The coronavirus is over.
It's been over.
It's what?
It's been over.
No, it hasn't.
In my mind, it has.
All the requirements, they're not a thing anymore as of today. All the federal mandates are over. They're being terminated today.
Well, great.
International travelers don't have to, all this stuff where you had to be vaccinated. All of those pandemic-related public health measures end today.
I'm glad it's official.
It's all officially over.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it. Congratulations, us.
Uh-huh. Only 160 weeks, however long, who knows? So there's been, and obviously there's been no shortage of litigation over these kinds of things, but it was only a matter of time where, listen, there are still people that are getting this. There are still people, I assume, that are dying from it, but it's not January of 2021. I mean, listen, the same people that would have died from it before can die from it now. It's just that hospitals aren't filled to the brim with those people. But if you were somehow immunocompromised before, I'm fascinated by people who never got it. I tend to believe that means they just never tested. But people are like, 3 years, I never got it. Like,
I never tested positive. I tried to,
You tried to get it?
I mean, I probably had it at some point, but it was probably one of those things where it was the test didn't work properly, or it was just, I didn't have symptoms, so I didn't know I had it.
But you never felt like you had it.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
Poundcake, like I was sick.
Didn't you have it a couple times, Poundcake?
I had it a couple times.
Yeah.
That's what I get for living with people.
Yeah, there was one time when I wasn't feeling well, and I stayed off the show for a few days and tested and did, the home test and did the all the tests, but it never came back positive. So I don't know if it just had run its course by the time I had tested. I don't know. It was just, but I never got a positive test.
Were you doing the anal swabs?
Of course, that's how you do it, right?
That's how I do it.
Anal the nose, right?
Yes, that's right. That's how I do it.
Anal the nasal.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so anyway, there's that whole thing. There is I got an article from one of our Florida bureau chiefs about a substitute teacher. Boy, these substitute teachers, they're wilding. They're all, Miss Mockschnell calls in and says, hey, I can't teach German today. We have a name on a list. I don't know what the qualifications are to be a substitute teacher. But
back in the day, it was all you had to have was like a degree in something. It didn't have to be anything specific.
Yeah, I'm not getting degree vibe off a lot of these people.
I think it's
that
changed
get pinched.
a lot.
It must be, or at least Florida, because freedom. Florida maybe has their own thing going on, as they usually do. But they had to arrest a substitute teacher because she let a 7th grader hit off her vape pen.
Oop.
And I guess he didn't look too kindly on that. I sent a lot of mixed messages down there in Florida, too. I don't envy anybody down there trying to keep abreast of what you can and can't do in school. But Jennifer Hunter was the student, and her mom was very displeased with the whole situation.
I never thought that a substitute teacher would give my child that or someone else's child any of that stuff.
You can't do this. You just can't do it. I mean, this should be common sense. So she has a responsibility to that classroom to protect kids, not abuse them. Her response was she just wanted to fit in.
So that's on the kids. That's not on her. She was trying, the adult woman was trying to fit in with the kids, with the 7th graders. You know, I've never been a teacher, but I have participated over the years in my children's classrooms, not to the level of being a substitute teacher, but you know, you'll go in and you'll like read to the class or something. And depending on what grade they're in, it's battle conditions. It's you against a room full of kids who do not care about anything. And so I went to Catholic school, and so it was like, you know, if you gave them a raised eyebrow, you got smacked. So that's a whole other universe. That's not normally what is happening. And so this teacher, apparently, she figures, how the hell am I going to, just wants to fit in with the 7th graders. And she thought, I'll let you hit off my pen, and that'll do it. Under any of the circumstances, why would she have wanted to fit in? But the substitute, so they scooped her up, and she's facing child abuse charges. Now, because this is Florida, the woman is probably way younger than she looks. Doesn't say how old she is, but they released her on a $1,000 bond. She had no prior issues at the school or with anyone else. She said, yeah, I just wanted to fit in.
That's a great mindset to have as a teacher. Not that you want to lead, but you want to just be one of the kids.
Well, that's the thing, though, is it's kind of like, but you see that reflected in a lot of parents, too.
I'm not a regular teacher. I'm a cool teacher.
I'm cool, man.
I would rather you smoke in the classroom.
I'd rather you vape in the classroom than be vaping out there on the streets.
You don't know what you're getting out there. I know my stuff's legit. I got a great guy.
I got vanilla unicorn in here. Who likes that?
We're gonna blow cotton or whatever, make some thick cotton clouds.
Did you have one? I know you didn't, Alan, but did you have friends that had a mom that was, I would rather you drink in the house than.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yep. But I didn't drink. You didn't partake. So I wouldn't go to any parties anyway. I wasn't getting invited to parties.
You guys leave your car keys. I don't need your parents giving me a call.
Yeah, I didn't have any friends like that because none of my friends drank. Like none of us were drinkers.
Heck, I had parents. My friends' parents would drink with us. Like they're like, "What you guys doing? You guys want a beer? You guys don't know how to shotgun a beer."
Yeah, I mean that's
they called it a burr.
That's kind of over the line there. Like there's too many people who are trying to be like pals with their kids.
Yep.
But there's a logic to that. It's just that back in the day, parents weren't getting scooped up for doing that. Now you're in big trouble. If somebody, leaks out that, because somebody can, blow you up on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. Oh, we're over at Terry's house and his mom's drinking with us. And then that's how it ends up. Like the mom ends up having sex with one of her kids' high school friends, or, it's just one bad decision after the next. Hey, Lisa.
Yes.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
What's up?
I was just getting out of school, but I heard the last portion of when you were talking about COVID.
Yeah.
And I work in the healthcare field, and since 2020, actually, and I've never caught COVID.
Oh, good for you.
How do you think how did you manage that?
I think, and this is just my opinion, I served 14 years in the Army, and I think all the stuff that they shoot you up with, I think that may had something to do with it. But I don't know. Other members of the military have gotten COVID.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Huh. Well, maybe you just had more antibodies than the normal person.
Possibly. I did get tested for antibodies, and they said that I didn't have any against COVID.
Oh, really? Okay. So
weird.
Is it safe to assume that working in the medical field, you were tested probably more than the average bear?
That's correct.
Yeah. Wow. So you were like dancing
That is-
between the raindrops, Lisa.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I just think it's weird how it affects some people so horribly and other people have it like it's a cold.
Yes. Yeah, I had it and I didn't feel anything.
Wow.
Didn't feel one thing. I wouldn't have even known I had it if we hadn't, when my wife got it and we all tested. And all three of us, it nuked Christmas of 2021. My wife felt awful, and she goes, I'm going to test, because we had family coming. And she was positive. I
Right.
said, well, I guess we'll test too. So our daughter and I, we were all positive, but our daughter and I felt nothing. And my wife had a real hard time with it.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's weird. It is weird. But I guess working in healthcare, that's a big plus that you never got it.
Well, another thing that blows my mind is I had 5 patients that I was working with very closely. I'm an aide, STNA. So, like, I change them. I'm feeding them if they need to be fed, helping them with anything except therapy and medication.
Yeah.
3 days before these people left the hospital, they were tested because we can't send them back out into the population in case they will give somebody else COVID.
Right.
They all tested positive. So they were there for another 10 days. I still didn't get it. That blows my mind. I mean, at that point, you got 14 days off of work. I was almost wishing that I would get it just to get those 14 days off.
Right. Well, glass half full, Lisa.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. There's Lisa, who, despite being an STNA, in the medical field, never once I got COVID. Is that what your mom is, Poundcake? She an STNA?
Oh, no. My mom's a nurse.
She's an RN.
She's an LPN.
LP. See, there's so many initials. That's why I ask.
LPN
because
is
I get
licensed
them.
practical nurse.
A licensed practicing nurse. What's an RN? Registered nurse?
Registered nurse. That's like.
And those are different?
Yeah, licensed practical nurse means you went to nursing school. RN means you're a registered nurse and you went to like 4 years of college.
Oh,
So
really?
It's just a different
I thought
certification.
everybody had to go through nursing school.
They do. My mom, it's like you can take nursing at like a nursing school.
Oh, rather than college.
Or
I
some
see.
people go to a 4-year university. So,
I
mean,
see.
I imagine it's all about money, I'm assuming. If you spend more money and you know, you take more classes, like the core classes during college, you get an RN.
Huh.
So I guess one's like associates, one's like bachelor's. I suppose.
What was Gaylord Fokker? Was he an RN or was he an LPN?
Oh, I don't remember.
Don't remember? Oh, okay.
He was
What do you mean you didn't commit that to memory?
Yeah.
That movie from 15 years ago.
15. That movie's 20 years.
Is it
over? It's got to be over 20 years old.
Meet
by
the
now.
Parents is over 20 years
I
old?
would say it's probably closer to 25. I feel like that was like a
Meet the Parents came out in 2000.
yeah.
October 6th. Wow. It's almost, it is. It's 20 years old. Wow. Meet the Parents. Terry Polo. She's foxy. God, they ran because we were watching, because our timing, because of the time change when we were in Sedona, our kind of circadian rhythms were all off. So we were falling asleep at 8:30 at night and just laying there watching Office reruns at night and on Comedy Central. And they were running nonstop promos for a Meet the Parents marathon or whatever. And it didn't matter what room of what room of our room Gwen was in. I would always laugh when De Niro goes, I don't like what I'm seeing from these fuckers. It's so stupid, but I would laugh out loud every time. It's so dumb. It's an entire movie franchise built around one joke. And it's so dumb, but I would audibly laugh every time. De Niro, very frustrated.
Wait, your name is Gay Fokker?